I'm going to show you guys how I made my easy and delicious ground beef green chile cheesy empanadas. And they came out so delicious and it was so simple and easy to make. And I'm going to show you guys how I made it. For the ingredients, we're going to need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. We're also going to need 6 tablespoons of vegetable shortening. If you guys want to, you can use lard. I'm also going to use 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of hot water, and this is for the empanada dough. So we're just going to make this first. I'm going to add salt into my flour and then I'm going to mix it until it's combined into the flour. Next, I'm going to add in my shortening. And I'm just going to mix this really well into the flour. As you see me doing here, I'm just going to mix it until the shortening breaks down. Your flour should become crumbly once you're done. And I'm just going to continue to mix my shortening throughout my flour. And as you see, my flour is looking crumbly. That's what you want to see with your dough. It's almost kind of like making flour tortillas when you mix the shortening into your flour and it becomes crumbly. Next, I'm just going to gradually add in my hot water. Make sure it's not too hot. You guys don't want to burn your hand. But I just added in my hot water. I'm just going to mix and then add a little bit of water and then mix and then add some more water until my dough or my flour is hydrated. And as you see, my dough is almost there. I'm just going to add the remaining water. I'm just going to form my dough into a ball. And as you see, the dough is getting easier to work with. And this is a very workable dough. It's soft. So I'm just going to knead my dough or work my dough just a little bit. And this recipe is just so easy to make and it's so delicious. And you guys are going to love this recipe. Let me know if you guys make this recipe. Just put in the comments if you made the recipe and what you thought about the recipe. But yeah, I'm just going to continue to knead my dough as you see here. And you can tell how soft the dough is, and yeah. I'm just going to shape my dough into a ball and I'm going to show you guys how soft this dough is. But I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just going to cut my dough into pieces. It depends on the size that you cut your dough, depending on the size that you want your empanadas, if you want them small or medium size. But yeah, I'm just going to be making small empanadas. And I did end up cutting from some of my dough to make more empanadas because I was making small size empanadas. So yeah, I'm just going to take my empanada dough. I'm just going to press on the side so that I have a perfect circle. I'm just going to do this until my dough is a little bit flattened out. And doing your dough like this, you can get a perfect circle. So, and I'm just going to roll my dough out. And you don't want to make your dough too thin, then it just rips. I'm just going to continue to roll out my dough, and you guys can see my technique to make sure I am forming my dough or flattening out my dough into a circle. And if your circle isn't perfect, then that's fine. These are homemade empanadas. As long as it tastes good and the presentation is good, then that's all that matters. But once I'm done doing that one, I'm just going to set it to the side. And I'm going to work on my other dough. I'm just going to do the same thing that I did to the first one. Here I'm just forming it into a ball so that I can make the circle. I'm just going to flatten it out with my hands. And as you see, I'm kind of forming it into like a bowl. It kind of looks like a bowl. I'm just going to do this all around my dough until it's flat. I'm just going to dust some flour onto my dough, and I'm going to begin rolling. And as you see, I'm just rolling and moving my dough, making sure to keep that circle. Let me know if you guys want to see me make some authentic flour tortillas. So once I'm done rolling all of my dough out, I'm going to start with my meat. And your dough will dry out, so I just put a wet paper napkin over top of my dough while I was making my meat. But I'm just going to add some oil into my pan. I'm going to add 1 small onion and 1 garlic clove. I'm also going to be using 1 pound of ground beef. I'm just going to mix that. And I have my eye on medium heat. But I'm just going to break my meat down into small pieces or small chunks. And here are my seasonings. I used 1 teaspoon of black pepper, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, I have a teaspoon of onion powder, I have a teaspoon of cumin, I have a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to mix that together. I'm just going to let it cook and get brown. I'm just going to mix and chop my meat. And this meat was so delicious and flavorful, and it was moist. Next, I'm just going to add in my green chilies. I used a can of hatch chilies, but I'm just going to add all of that in. I'm just going to mix it into my meat. And you guys need to try this recipe. This meat was so delicious and flavorful. And my meat is done at this point. I'm just going to transfer the meat into my glass bowl. I'm just going to get everything. And I just want to show you guys how the meat looks close up. And the meat isn't dried out, it's just moist. Sometimes your meat can be dry, but yeah, I just cracked an egg into my bowl. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of water. And I'm just going to mix my eggs really well. And this is for the top of the empanadas for when it goes into the oven, so that it gives it a nice golden brown color. And as you see, I have some mozzarella cheese that I'm going to be using. You guys can use your favorite cheese. I'm using mozzarella. You guys can use Mexican cheese or Chihuahua cheese. I'm going to add in my meat, and I'm going to add in some queso. I'm just going to close my empanada and seal the ends. I'm just going to do a little design or pattern to my empanadas. I'm just going to fold it over, the dough over. And this is how my first empanada looks. It's super cute. Now for the second one, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to repeat the process. I'm just going to add in my meat, add in my queso, and I'm just going to fold over the dough and press the sides. And it wanted to have a hole in it, but I fixed it. But I'm just going to press the sides, folding over the dough, making a cute design. If you guys wanted to, you could just use a fork, but I find that this looks better and more presentable. I'm going to do the same thing to my third empanada. Fold it over, seal it, and then fold the dough over, making a design. Let me know if you guys want to see any other videos, or give me some suggestions on what you guys want to see me make. If it's flautas, a recreation of a Chick-fil-A sandwich, or just things like that. So here I'm just folding my dough over, and it kind of looks like a little rope. So here I have all of my empanadas, and I also have some meat left over, but I'm just going to place my empanadas in a greased pan. I just added some butter to my pan, and yes, make sure you grease your pan or whatever you're putting your empanadas on, because you do not want them to stick and then they break or like tear apart. But I'm just going to line my empanadas up in my pan. And this is a great like lunchbox idea. Like you can take this for lunch. It's so cute and delicious, and they're little. But I'm just going to add some egg wash onto my empanadas. Like I said, I'm adding the egg wash for the to give my empanadas a golden brown color. And this step is important, but this is how my empanadas look. And I already preheated my oven to 425, and I'm just going to place my empanadas in the oven to bake for 17 minutes. After those 17 minutes, I'm going to turn my oven down to 350, and I'm going to allow them to cook for 27 minutes, keeping a watchful eye on them. And I turned on my broil so I could broil them, and I just broiled them. I just left it on broil for about 2 minutes. And while you have your food on broil, make sure you guys watch your food, because it can burn your food really quickly. But just keep a watchful eye. And this is how my ground beef green chile cheesy empanadas came out. They were super delicious, and I had them with some salsa. I posted this salsa on my channel, and it's so good. I hope you guys try this recipe. I hope you guys are subscribed to me. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you guys are following me on my Instagram and my TikTok. Adios.